Sunday, I smell like chips, and it's time to review the next episode of Doctor Who Series 11. Last week we had some terrible, we had a pretty terrible episode last week. This week it's definitely improved with the episode called The Battle of whatever it's called. The visual effects this week were really quite good. I think that most of them, for BBC standards anyway, were really quite well done, and they looked good. You know, every single shot that involved sort of special effects or CGI or whatever did look quite good and looked sort of atmospheric and cool. And every time I saw it, I kind of went, yeah, that probably costs them some more money, and at the end, you know, you eventually sort of draw quite a large bill. For me, I feel like this series has really lacked any good villains each week. I feel like episode 1 was actually the best episode, simply because of the villain. And then he's returned this week, which I was so happy about. Tim Shaw's not just back, he's back and he's better than he was before. He's kind of got this god complex now, and this idea that he is better than everyone else, which is a brilliant thing for a villain. You know, Loki, for example, the thing that makes him bad is his thirst for power, and the Stenza and Tim Shaw have that problem as well. People have said that like this series didn't have much like arcs, and it is true, it doesn't. But to name the few that they did have, they had the Ryan and Graham arc, which was good, and they have the Stenza arc as well, which is also good and also ended this week, and I feel like it got a very good ending. I feel like this series kind of went towards this idea and this theme of not using violence and being passive and just travelling through time, saving things, saving universes, whatever, and going through saving things but without killing anyone, and that's basically what this end does. The fact that the Stenza have been here this entire time, they really needed a good ending, and they definitely got it. I feel like them getting sort of cemented was really, really clever. And the theme of this series has been not using violence and trying to be passive and just travelling through time and saving people wherever they can. And this episode really cements that theme. We'll talk about the companions and the Doctor this week. I found the Doctor a little bit annoying this week. Don't know why. I think just to begin with, she was standing there very much talking about things that simply weren't very interesting, you know, things about wellies and stuff, and then she slowly developed and got a bit better. She got a bit hypocritical as well, which is not very good for the Doctor. The fact that she started off sort of saying that you've got to be positive and you've got to be passive to people, and then she sticks bombs onto that planet. There's also the companions, so we got Yaz, who is literally doing nothing. Sorry, Yaz. There's Graham and there's Ryan, who are finally getting their arc completed. I said this last week, and they please close the arc, and then they didn't. Well, I thought they closed it last week, and then they didn't this week, but I feel like they've closed it this week. I think Ryan has this new appreciation for Graham, and I think that is a good thing for this series. And it's also something relatable. You know, the idea of having like grandparents, that kind of stuff. Like the idea that Graham was going to try and kill the Stenza in some kind of showdown was really cool. I felt like I actually had some stake in this, and I really didn't want him to die. This episode has been well-rounded, well-structured, and definitely extremely entertaining. I don't know what other people thought. I may be like utterly alone, but whatever. I don't care. I think that this episode was very good. Obviously, I don't rate these things, but I need to talk about the stuff that I'm going to do in the future, over the next week or two. So each episode, I'm going to do this thing called the evaluation, which is one long video, and I give each episode a ranking out of 10. And then once that ranking is done, I add them all together, and then we find out, you know, what. Almost like grade boundaries, figure out, you know, if you got like 0 to 50, then you've made a terrible season, or 50 to 100, you know, you've made a good season, but it won't be as simple as that. Obviously, we've got New Year's Day coming up, and that looks like an incredible episode. You know, there's this bit with a car, and I was like, am I watching a Mission Impossible film now? That plays out the way that it looks like it does. Wow. I am looking forward to this, and the thing that they're hinting at, but they're not exactly going to say or show, is the Daleks. And they've got a new texture or something, so they're not going to show. But I've got plenty of stuff to talk about that over the next few weeks as well, so don't be afraid. Now that this series has ended, and my reviews have ended, there's still nothing to be worried about on this channel. So yeah, it's actually quite sad that now, after doing 10 episodes of this, we end this series, but at least we ended it on a high. So, thank you guys for watching. This has been DHGSU. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you give a like. The playlist to all of this year's reviews for Series 11 are up in that card thing. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you soon. Goodbye.